Look at that, the 4 apostles.
The Great Ocean Road is easily one of Victoria's most iconic locations. Most people experience it from behind a windscreen, driving the long, winding road that hugs the coastline heading west away from Melbourne and towards South Australia. In this video, we're starting on that same road and then leaving it behind to walk the final 70 kilometres of our journey on foot. Over the next 5 days, we'll see what this rugged coastline has to offer as we explore the cliff tops and beaches that make it so famous, starting in the Otways and finishing on the edge of the Southern Ocean at the 12 Apostles.
It's 4 o'clock on the first day of the hike and we've just started off on the trail. The reason we're starting so late is because I finished work this morning and we had a bit of a journey. We had to drive one car 3.5 hours from Melbourne to the 12 Apostles and leave that there, and then all get in another car and drive that back here to our starting point at Cape Otway Lighthouse. So we're starting our walk at the Cape Otway Lighthouse, which is not actually the official start of the hike. The official start is in Apollo Bay, but we just don't really have enough days to do the whole hike at a comfortable pace. We could have if we did a lot more Ks each day, but this is the first time we've done a hike this long, so this was a good starting point for us. We're only doing between like 10 and 15 Ks each day for 5 days. So our first campsite tonight will be the Air River campsite, which is about 10 Ks away from here. So nice easy walk to start the trip. We'll definitely get there before sundown. It's redeemed its name now. Yeah. Hey buddy.
It hasn't broken through, so.
Yeah, so we walk up. Otherwise, Settling in on the first night, I am definitely starting to rethink a couple of items that I chose to keep in my pack. My legs are trying to remember how to carry an extra 18 kilos again, and my shoulders are definitely feeling the fact that I didn't adjust my pack properly before starting. Although it doesn't take my brain too long to switch to nature mode when we do these hikes and to stop thinking about work, appointments and commitments. We rushed through the walk a bit today due to our late start and trying to get in before dark, but even so I can feel my mind coming to an ease already. How good is it waking up to bird sounds instead of an obnoxious alarm? Waking up on track has to be one of the best feelings, because you know today there's no traffic jams, no commitments, no crowded grocery stores, just a campsite as the destination and 15 hours of sunlight to reach it. We just finished packing up and we're just heading off on day 2 of our hike. So today we're going from a river crossing to Johanna beach. I think it's about 14 k's that we're on today, but it looks like a pretty flat section today. There's just a river crossing at the end, I believe, before we get into the campsite. Should be a good day. We've got 14 k's to get to the next campsite. So we're just going to take it nice and easy and stroll along.
Is that skip? Yeah.
For like an hour and a half now, just over an hour and a half. We made it about 7 k's, 6.5 k's I think. So we've just made it to a little lookout. We'll have our first pack off break for the day. Where are we going?
Everyone knows the icons of the Great Ocean Road are the 12 Apostles, but not many people know that the road was actually built as a war memorial in 1919 by soldiers who had returned home from World War I, making it the world's largest war memorial. The 243-kilometre road joining Torquay and Allansford in Victoria's west took approximately 3,000 men 13 years to complete, using pick and shovel, explosives, wheelbarrows and small machinery. Onto the beach, so we're having our second pack off break. I think we're at the 12k mark. It's been pretty easy walking so far today. There was one little uphill section, but it wasn't too bad. The breeze down on the beach here is really nice. That's why we decided to have a break. We're just going to have about half an hour break and then we'll keep going through to the campsite. I might even go for a swim. that we probably would have just stopped on the beach instead of coming straight up to camp and sat there for an hour or two. But we know now. Check out the view from the campsite though. It's my tent there. We've seen a lot more wildlife so far than I thought we would see. Honestly, being a group of 4 people walking along the track, I thought us stomping would scare off all the wildlife before we got to see any, but we've seen like 5 equitas the last 2 days, 3 wallabies. When we were down on the beach, we saw a family of plovers and they had 2 tiny babies that were like this big. They were so cute. We've seen a blue tongue. Dad saw a snake, but it scooted off before the rest of us caught up and could see it. There's been heaps of black cockies flying around, they're my favourites. And this afternoon we saw a couple of sea eagles just circling and soaring above too, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised by how much wildlife there is. It's so cool. Apparently tomorrow we have a pretty good chance of seeing some koalas too, which I'm pretty excited about. I love koalas. So yeah, hopefully we get to see that guy. Apparently one lives at the Ryan's Den campground, which is where we'll be tomorrow night. So I hope he's still there.
It's just started to drizzle with a little bit of rain now, so we're packing up our tents a little bit earlier than what we did yesterday. I think we're going to get a fair bit of rain today actually, but that's alright. We've got our rain jackets, we've got garbage bags in our packs, so we should be all good. Hopefully it stops before we get into camp, 'cause it's not the most fun setting up in the rain, but it is what it is, that's just part of it. Sometimes you get good weather, sometimes you get shit weather.
But is it a spray jacket?
From coastline to hinterland, the Otways National Park is home to some of Australia's cutest native wildlife, like eastern grey kangaroos, echidnas, koalas, and even the elusive platypus, as well as some of our scaly friends, like tiger snakes, blue tongues, and goannas. The lush green fern gullies make you feel like you've been transported back to the dinosaur age, while the huge mountain ash and stringy bark eucalypts make you feel like an ant under their canopy. As we walk through the bush today, we're greeted with the most amazing fresh petrichor smell as the rain unleashes the smell of pure nature.
Soaked in. Alright, now open it.
We just started walking again after our first pack-off break for the day. We've done about 7.5 k's so far, so we're just over halfway there. We've been walking mostly on the road so far this morning, which has been kind of nice because you get the chance to look up and have a look at the scenery around you a bit more rather than always looking at your feet. There's a bit of a break in the rain at the moment. I wouldn't say it's raining super heavy, but it's been raining steadily for most of the walk so far this morning, if you can't tell by how soaked I am. But I think the rest of the way now we've just got on a decline down to Melanesia Beach, and then it should be a pretty easy walk into the campsite from here. Everyone that we spoke to about the walk today said that we had a bit of a slog ahead of us, and even looking at the incline on the map, it didn't look like it was going to be very fun, but it was pretty moderate. Like, it was a steady, gradual incline up, so it wasn't anywhere near as bad as what we thought it would be. Have a look at the view from where we are now. We've just hit the coastline for the first time today. As soon as we left today, we went inland, so this is the first time we're seeing the coast along the walk today.
They've been there for a while.
Summer here in Victoria can be unpredictable. So unpredictable that as we walk through 6 hours of rain today, just last week, after days of extreme heat, devastating fires were burning all across the state, including here in the Otways, meaning that this hike was closed to the public. We kept refreshing updates, waiting to see what would reopen and what wouldn't, ready to change plans if we had to. Less than 24 hours before we were due to leave, the conditions improved, the park reopened, and we were free to go ahead with our plans. Walking through places like this, you're reminded how temporary and ever-changing nature is. The fire burns, the rain comes, the plants re-go. This landscape has burned before. It's changing right now, and it'll keep changing, burning, eroding, adapting, long after we've passed through.
Shipwreck Creek beach. It doesn't tell you where that is, so. Thank you. I think you even bought it yourself. Throw them in your poncho.
By the time we got into camp last night, we were absolutely soaked through. There was like consistent rain on the whole walk. I feel like I spoke too early when I said that it wasn't as bad as what people said, because what looked like the worst part on the elevation chart was actually the easiest part. And then where on the other days we've gone like along the beach, yesterday we went like over the ridge lines and avoided the beach, which they weren't too bad because they were short and sharp. There was just like 4 of them, one after the other, and no koala at camp. All 4 of us went on multiple koala spotting walks. Couldn't find the little guy. Oh, I saw a wallaby. Jess saw a baby snake. Couldn't see the koala though. We didn't even hear him last night either. Apparently the one here is super active, so a bit disappointed about that. But we just finished packing up and we're about to set off for Devil's Kitchen today. We've got a few cool stops along the way. I'll just show you the toilet here too, because it's a toilet with a view. Not bad. And if that tree wasn't there either, you'd be able to see the ocean over there too.
He's flagged it, yes, 4.5.
Rescue? Dad just like scaled the cliffside and went down here because my hat blew off when I was standing on the platform in the wind. Are you alright? So we're currently down at Wreck Bay. It's not actually part of the walk, but you can walk down to the beach and have a look at some anchors. I think it's just anchors left from ships that have shipwrecked here, believe it or not. And you can either walk back up to the official walk and to the campsite that way, or you can walk the last 2.9 k's along the sand. But to get down to Wreck Bay was like 250 meters worth of really, really steep stairs. And even though we weren't that keen on walking 3Ks along the sand, we were even less keen on walking back up those stairs. So we've decided on beach walk. It's actually really nice compared to the other beach walking we've done along the way so far. The sand is really like compact, so it's not that bad. And it's beautiful down here too. You've got these like gorgeous rock faces here, and then all the shallow tide pools out here. So we'll go slow, and I don't know, I reckon it'll probably take us an hour at least to do these last 3Ks on the sand, but I'm just going to enjoy it and take our time. Yeah.
The anchors that can be seen here at Shipwreck Bay are from the Marie Gabrielle, sunk in 1869, and the Fiji, sunk in 1891. These are just two of the 640 known ships that wrecked and are lying beneath the treacherous waters between Moonlight Bay and Port Fairy, better known as the Shipwreck Coast.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Hang on.
Oh, my shoes are.
As we roll into the last night of the hike, we all reflected on the last couple of days as we watched the sun set over the ocean. Coming from only having done 1 and 2 night hikes before, I thought the adjustment was going to be harder. But as we settled into the routine of each day's walk, setting up camp, cooking dinner over the stove, and packing up in the morning, I actually found it easier as the days went on. I couldn't believe how fast the last 4 days had gone, and I didn't want the experience to end.
Just do a little. Yeah. Less is more. I've got it. Ooh, last day today. We just set off, left camp, and we're headed for the 12 Apostles now, which is 16 k's away. It's going to be our longest day yet, but looking at the map it also looks like the easiest day of walking, pretty flat, and hopefully the most scenic day too. I think we stick pretty close to the coastline all day today. Last night we were super lucky to have the campsite to ourselves again. I think out of the 4 nights we've been camping, only 2 nights we've had to share the campsite, and it was only with one other person each time, which for peak season is kind of crazy. On the Parks Vic website it said that all of the sites were booked for every night that we were staying, but I think that the fires last week kind of messed with people's plans a bit, but ended up working well in our favour because we had the campsites basically to ourselves the whole time. We didn't see any koalas at this campsite again though. We did see a tiger snake coming into camp last night though, but no koalas. Oh yeah. And last night's campsite definitely had the best toilet with a view out of all the ones we stayed at as well, right out onto the ocean.
Yeah. There's some houses over there.
Yeah.
Sorry,
We're like queen bees.
Disgusting.
He's not scared. Hey, guy.
And then suddenly, we're here. After days of sun, rain, flies, and moving forward one step at a time, the coastline opens up and everything feels bigger again. Although there are only 7 limestone towers still standing, there was never actually 12 apostles to begin with. In 1920, when they were given this biblical name, there were 9 stacks visible from the viewpoint, and since then 2 have been lost to erosion and returned to the ocean in 2005 and 2009. The 12 apostles have been shaped by wind and water for thousands of years, but they won't last forever. Standing here, it's hard not to feel small, but in a good way. In a way that makes you feel part of something much older and much larger than us. That's why I love nature and walks like this. They remind you that you don't need to rush or hold on so tightly. You just arrive, take it in, and let it change you a little. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more of what I get up to, then like this video and head to my page, Steph Off Track, to subscribe and turn on bell notifications so that you're the first to know when a new video comes out.